Recall the time Katt Williams revealed Diddy on Club Shay Shay a year before to any real investigations began? Everyone referred to Katt as insane. However, Katt stopped seeming so insane when the investigations and raids really began months later.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. I don't want to look at nothing I don't want to have. Because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling.
Come on, man.
Katt Williams is now releasing something even more bizarre. The person at the top is not Diddy. He was only a pawn. Furthermore, the true power broker, who is in charge of Diddy's every action, remains unrestricted behind the scenes.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri, king of the pedal, if you ask me, baby.
In this video, we'll discuss every name that Katt Williams revealed, look at their connections, and evaluate all the hints and trends that show Diddy has been responding to powers much more powerful than himself.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited than a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and shit. Come here, come here. Is that 2 niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas Professor Ovid?
Money is a tool used by Hollywood elites to manipulate you. Because he was permitted to reach that stage, Diddy became a millionaire. Diddy was prepared to do whatever it took to get the money, even if it meant compromising his morals, and he didn't care where or from whom it came. The same sum of money was given to Dave Chappelle, but he declined. Dave received a $50 million offer, but he was aware of the associated costs. It was control, not only a contract.
And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty, the bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water, bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Despite being promised $50 million 4 times, Katt Williams continued to act in the same way. In fact, he gave an explanation for his actions. Saying no to money is sometimes necessary to safeguard what really important. This is where it gets insane. The business really pushed back when Dave and Katt declined the money. On national television, Oprah labeled Dave Chappelle insane for declining a deal that would have made him a puppet. When Katt Williams spoke out against the abuse, the whole industry blackballed her.
Outside of my frame of reference, I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to me.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No,
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Diddy enters the picture at this point. Some of Diddy's closest associates have expressed the same opinion as Katt Williams, who feels that Jay-Z is the one really in charge of Diddy. In reality, Diddy is not great friends with Jay-Z. In reality, Diddy detested Jay-Z. Additionally, Jay-Z remained silent for the last year, while Diddy was the subject of an investigation. This is due to his lack of concern. Diddy had lost his usefulness. He was so taken out.
I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, you know, just out with it, it don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quieter with it.
The person in charge is Jay-Z, who is actually more dangerous than Diddy. In contrast to Diddy, Jay-Z is quiet and hardly enters the public eye. The plot takes an even more bizarre turn at this point. Jay-Z is collaborating with others. In reality, Jay-Z and Clive Davis were working together behind the scenes to dominate the music business.
Clive Davis put Sean Combs in position. That's what Clive Davis does. The amount of abuse that Janis Joplin suffered when she wanted to leave Clive Davis management. The amount of abuse Whitney Houston suffered when she was ready to write her book. And then all of the abuses that she suffered. You know, Luther Vandross, that was nasty work, Clive. Swinging it at Jay-Z's knees. I'm swinging it at Clive Davis's knees, and I'm swinging it at anybody else's knees who has had anything to do with this tyranny, with this evil.
My focus right now is Sean Combs because he's a trafficker, most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, Clive Davis.
Rumor has it, allegedly, Diddy got on his knees for Clive Davis in 1994.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself.
It all began with Clive Davis. The two top hip-hop music execs, Jay-Z and Clive Davis, are in charge of everything. The same thing was stated by Gene Deal. It all started with Clive Davis. Before Diddy, Jay-Z, and the public power plays, Clive was already in charge of behind-the-scenes operations, influencing careers, determining who rose to prominence, who fell, and who needed protection. He made Diddy into the monster he is today.
And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clive Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self.
The plot takes an even more bizarre turn at this point. Diddy allegedly turned on Jay-Z and Clive Davis and began spying for the FBI after realizing that they were only exploiting him and trying to get rid of him. Jay-Z and Clive Davis just recently learned that Diddy had been an informant for years. Everyone in the business is aware that they used pressure to get Diddy detained.
Diddy, you're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really, kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Diddy sent information to the federal government while working with them. He was able to avoid receiving a life sentence in this manner. Diddy was prepared to turn on everyone, and the feds wanted Jay-Z and Clive. The FBI could have imprisoned Diddy at any point if they had really wanted to. Diddy didn't even provide a statement. Nevertheless, he overcame every severe accusation. This conviction is only a showpiece.
They'll let you do crimes as long as you don't do no and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you've got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them, and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
How does it go on for so long? When we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
But he was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, he's not. The reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been telling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, And as you know, all these people get tired of their rap.
Diddy intended to utilize the information he gathered on those in positions of power as leverage. He thought he had at last arrived at a point where he could begin controlling instead of being dominated. He wasn't only amassing wealth and influence, according to those with knowledge of the matter. He was gathering names, information, favors, and secrets. This kind of leverage is only useful when you're prepared to utilize it.
All about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America like that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies, they not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape.
The only issue is that Diddy was unaware of the true might of his adversaries. Diddy believed that being incarcerated would protect him. However, Diddy was assaulted at the same time that reports started to circulate that he was about to confess. The incident served as a message that those who want to silence him were not taking any risks, even while he was incarcerated.
Something very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and, quote unquote, saved him. Yes. And so, you know, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, no, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, you know, I think in some sort of protected environment. You know, remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah.
Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe, because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can and just attacks on his life, because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize, and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks, and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy in jail is crazy. Isn't that crazy?
Every name that Katt Williams listed in his interview with Club Shay has since been in the news. And TD Jake is the finest illustration of this. Katt Williams asserted a connection between Diddy and TD Jake. A few months later, TD Jake was included in a lawsuit that described how Diddy reportedly paid TD Jake to enhance his public persona.
World-renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Casey Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging violence and trafficking.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it, they'll move on it.
That's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murders. I deal with rapes, and because they're our children, our sons.
TD Jake resigned from his job less than 6 months later. He was aware that he would not be able to defeat what was approaching.
This was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts, to take the lead.
Diddy needs a new strategy to improve his public image now that T.D. Jake is no longer with him. And he must be crazy the way he's doing it. Diddy is going crazy as a result of 50 Cent's now viral Netflix documentary, Sean Diddy Combs: The Reckoning. Exclusive, never-before-seen video of Diddy allegedly committing crimes and plotting with his attorneys was made public. How does Diddy intend to use his own documentary to combat this? It seems that
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony yesterday? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you feel compelled your father's innocent? Your daddy died for you! Your daddy died for you for abusing women! That's wrong! You should get more!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our dreams, the loyalty, the betrayal, the highs, the lows, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling
Hello.
from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin, saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money sign Diddy.
Indeed, Diddy was paying individuals to support him throughout the trial by standing outside the courthouse. There is no support for him. The support outside the courthouse was not at all natural, according to several accounts and assertions that are making the rounds online. Those who were yelling and carrying placards weren't devoted supporters. They worked for him.
50 Cent just posted this. Why do you feel that way?
So, these are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no.
No.
It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is.
Would you do this?
Diddy's typical friends are nowhere to be found as more names come out, more insiders speak out, and more old videos go viral. There was no industry rally, no public backing, and no influential voices intervening to rescue him. This supports the claims made by Katt Williams. Diddy is now by himself.
Seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
Diddy is making every effort to get this documentary removed. In addition to threatening to sue Netflix and 50 Cent for more than $1 billion, Diddy's attorneys have already filed a stop and desist. Unfortunately for them, 50 Cent obtained all of his film via lawful means.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now, Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
It's your time now. How do you feel about everything that Katt Williams revealed? Do you think there is more to the tale, or do you think Diddy was only a pawn? I assure you that this is not over, so please share your opinions in the comments. There will be more disclosures, more identities, and more recordings.